Hi, everybody. It's Lynn. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a bracelet like this. This is right angle weave. That's the base of our bracelet. And that's what we're going to do today. Okay. These are the 8 millimeter glass pearls that came in our last bargain bead box. But we're going to use 6 millimeter glass pearls today. So we'll put that aside. What you're going to need is a beading needle. I'm using a size 11. Your thread of choice, I'm using 8 pound fireline. Okay, you can use whatever you'd like, but I will caution you about stretching. If you have a thread that can stretch, you will need to pre-stretch it really good because you don't want this bracelet to stretch. Okay, I've pulled out some size 11.0 Mayuki seed beads in silver, and I've pulled out my 15.0 Mayuki seed beads in both of these are galvanized silver. I've pulled out a 2-strand fold over magnetic clasp. This came from Fire Mountain Gems, and I looked up to make sure that they still carried them and have the product number, and I'll leave that below in the description. I've pulled out some Montes. These are little sew-on crystals. That's what's on top of this bracelet. Okay, the little rhinestones. Now, these are smaller than the ones I used on that one because our beads are smaller. And we're not going to get to these for a little bit. So I'm going to set them aside. And I'm going to set aside my seed beads. Okay, because we're not going to use those to start out. We're only going to be using our pearls to begin with. Okay, so let's dump some out on our mat here. Okay, now to start with, you want to pick up 4 beads. Okay, bring them all the way down to your tail. Now I will tell you, right angle weave is thread thirsty. So we're going to be having to add thread somewhere during this project, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, you have your 4 pearls on. If it's easier for you, put on a stop bead. I don't use stop beads, they just aggravate me and get in my way. But when I started out, I did. Now, what you want to do is sew back through all 4 of these beads. Okay, just sew around till you're through all 4. On our first unit, which that's how you refer to right angle weave is by unit. Our first unit, I always at least double sew because it's going to hold our clasp. And here's where we came out, but we got to get to this bead over here to add to our bracelet. So go through 2 more. 1 and 2. You're going to want to be opposite your tail thread. Okay, here's our tail coming out right here. And here's where we are. Oops, got to go 1 more. I got to be opposite my tail. Okay, so there you have it. Now, I want you to think of this like a box. Okay, this is your top, this is your bottom, the right side, and the left side. We're always adding to the right side to grow our bracelet. And these units share a bead. So instead of picking up 4 beads, we need to pick up 3. So let's pick up our 3 beads and go in the same direction that your thread is already going in. See, our thread is coming out right here on this side. We're going to go in on this side. This is referred to as chasing your tail. So what you want to do is chase your tail around to get yourself back to the next bead on the right hand side. So come up through the bottom bead, These glass pearls have really small holes. So, oops, what did I do? I caught my tail. Let me untangle here. Okay, so we've come up through that bead, and now we're going to go through this one. Okay, now you want to make sure you keep good tension on this. And if you don't feel like it's tight enough, you can go around it again. Mine feels nice and tight, so I'm happy with that. So now I pick up 3 more and go in the same direction that your tail is already going in. So chase the tail, pull them on through, okay, and go through 2 beads. Go through the bottom and then go through this side. So you can add another unit. Okay, this is what we have so far. And this is just done over and over. It's just repetitive until you get finished. But we'll keep going. A couple more units and then I'll go off camera and finish and let you do the same. Now you see my tail is coming this way here. So I'm going to go this way. And it just depends on how you turn your piece as to which direction your tail is going to be going in. You do what's easier for you to hold and handle. Went through that bottom one. Now I'm going through this side one. Okay. There we go. Pick up 3 more. And the number of units that you use depends on the size of the bracelet that you need. So I like my bracelets to be 7 1/4 to 7 1/2. So I'm aiming for that. Now keep in mind, you've got to consider how much room your tail or your clasp is going to take up. So you got to remember to think about that too when you're making your length. Okay, we're ready for 3 more. Sometimes the pearls need to be punched on through. Sometimes the spray or paint or whatever it is that they use to coat these kind of clogs the hole a little bit. So you have to punch them through. Okay, there's another unit on. Get yourself in position for another. Okay, so just keep going till you get to the length that you want. And I'm going to do the same, and then I'll be back to show you how we put our clasp on and do the embellishments. Okay, so get your length done and then come on back. Okay guys, welcome back. I completed the length that I needed. It took 16 units. The 8mm bracelet that we had done earlier, this one has 13 units. So that's the difference in using a 6mm bead and using an 8mm bead. So I'll show you how I put the clasp on when we get to the other end. But for now, we're going to start the embellishing of the bracelet. Now, because I have 16 units and you may not want Monties on the whole bracelet, maybe you don't want any Monties. So I wanted to show you an alternative to using the Monties just in case, you don't want to do that. So I've added 7 11 seed beads to my thread. It's coming out of this pearl in this direction. So what I want to do is bring it across, and on this pearl, I'm going to go in the opposite direction because I want to make an X on top of this unit. So go through this pearl in this direction and pull. Okay. Now, because we have 7 here, and remember I told you you need an odd number, what we want to do is go through this middle bead in the opposite direction or in the X pattern. So pick up 3 seed beads, go through that middle seed bead on your unit and pull. Okay. Then pick up 3 more seed beads, go back through the very end pearl right here. This one's starting to get a little tight because we've been through it a bunch of times. Okay, pull. And we have formed our X on top of this unit. Okay, now we've got to get to this pearl here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come through this top pearl like this, pull, and go through this pearl. Okay, now what we've done is we've set ourselves up to do the next unit here. So pick up 7 of your seed beads. Whoops. For some reason, these beads are not liking this mat. Okay, now we're coming out this side in this direction here, like so. So we want to go opposite on the other side of this unit. Okay, it's coming this way. We've crossed the pearl and we're coming back this way. Okay, now pick up 3 more. Count your seed beads because you want to go through the bead in the middle, which is this one right here. Okay, see we have 7 across here. We want to go through the 4th. This can get a little bit difficult. I can't pull it up so I can see it because if I do, it'll be out of frame. Well, get through that pearl in that direction and pull. Okay, pick up 3 more seed beads. You're coming out this way. We want to go through this pearl because we want to set ourselves up to get to the next unit. Come through here. And we've got our X on that pearl. Now we want to get to this pearl. Okay, so down through this one. Watch your thread. It's real easy to get your thread caught. Okay. And through this one. Okay. Pick up 7. Okay. You're coming out this way here. So we want to jump over here and go this way. Okay. You see that? Okay. Pull that down. Now, pick up 3. Find your middle bead and go this way. Pull that down. You really have to keep good tension, guys. If you don't, it will look loose. Okay, pick up 3 more. Now you can come through this bead. Okay, so that's our third one. We want to do 1 more without Monty's. So pick up 7. Look at that. This is aggravating. My needle keeps catching little tiny fibers on the bead mat. Okay, we're coming out the bottom of that side. So we're going to cross over and come out this pearl. Okay, pull it across there. Pick up 3 more seed beads. Oh, this mat. Okay, find your middle bead. Go through it. Okay, pick up 3 more. And go through this bead. Okay. You guys will not believe what happened. My webcam literally fell apart. The little screw that you screw onto the arm that holds up the webcam literally fell apart. So I apologize for that. I have super glued it back together to try to get through this. I guess I'll need to order a new one because it literally did just fall right off. So anyway, I've gone ahead and done some of our embellishment with the Monties. I've left a couple to show you how I'm doing that. But really, all I'm doing is counting that Monty as my, as the middle bead. So pick up 3 seed beads. And I don't know how much you guys know about Monties. There is a little setting here, and it has holes this way and holes this way. So what I'm doing is I'm going through one of the sets of holes like that, then pick up 3 more seed beads, and we're doing it just like we've done all of the embellishing with just seed beads. It's just that that middle bead is now a Monty. We're doing it the same way. We're coming out this way, so we're going to swing around and come through this way. And that lays it right over the top. So pick up 3 more seed beads and go through the Monty in the opposite direction. Pick up 3 more and finish your X off by going through this pearl. Okay. All right. So let's set ourselves up to do one more. We're going to come down through this pearl to set up. Okay. We're going to pick up 3 seed beads. Then our Monty. And then 3 more seed beads. We're coming out the pearl here in this direction, so we're going to come around and go through this pearl in this direction, the opposite direction. Okay. Pick up 3 more. Go through the Monty in this direction. Well, this is not that hard, y'all. It's just that this is real far away from me, and I am having a hard time seeing those tiny little holes. Okay, pull that on through. Pick up 3 more seed beads and go through this one. Okay. Okay, we complete our X that way. And down through this one. And now we're in our last 4 units and we're doing just seed beads. Okay, so I'm going to pause it right here, finish that up, and then I'll come back and show you how to put a clasp on. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, guys, well, I finished this up. And as you can see, I'm just about out of thread. So I wanted to show you how to tie this off. We already have thread at this end to put our clasp on here, and then we'll have to add a new piece of thread to finish the embellishments. So I'm coming out here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come under the thread bridge here, holding these two pearls together. I'm going to come up through there and go through that circle to tie a half hitch knot. Okay. And then I'm just going to advance a couple of beads. I always like at least 3 knots. I'll come up under this thread bridge right here. Come through and go through the loop that you've created and pull. Go through that bead. Come around here. Go under this thread bridge. Right here. Come through, go through that loop, and pull. That's 3 half hitch knots, guys. So let's just advance through a couple more beads, and then we'll cut our thread. Just for giggles, I'm going to do one more right here. And I'm going to cut. Okay. Now we're going to go to this end that needs the clasp added, thread our needle, and we're going to put the other clasp on. Other side of the clasp, I should say. Find my pliers so I can squish that thread down. If you don't do this, it's like trying to put a round peg in a square hole, or whatever that saying is. So put a needle on your tail thread. Easier said than done, y'all know that. Ugh. You know, when nobody's watching, I always get this on the first try. But let somebody watch me and I can't hit that hole to save my bones. Okay, got it. All right. Now, personally, I leave my clasp put together. The reason I do that is because I can't tell you how many times I've had one clasp this way and one clasp this way. I don't want that to happen to you. So leave your clasp attached unless you're doing something like a lobster claw or something like that. If you have a two-piece clasp, it's best to leave it attached. Okay, and on this end, remember we picked up 3 seed beads before we entered into our clasp. So we're going to do that again. 3 seed beads, and we're going to turn it the right way and come through the right hole. Whoops, this way. See what I almost did? Jeez, I'm on my game today, y'all. Camera's falling apart and heaven knows what else. Now, once you get that done, you can take it apart. But that's the easiest way I know of to make sure that you get your clasp on correct, in the correct orientation. Once you've gone through that, pick up 3 more. And go back through that pearl. And now we know we have it on right. So now we have to reinforce it. And you know my rule, 3 times, 3 passes at least. So okay, that's 2 complete passes. One more time. Up through the 3 seed beads and clasp. Over to the other side, through the clasp, through the 3 seed beads. Don't miss a bead, y'all, because your thread will show and it will look awful. Back through the purl, and that's our third complete pass. Okay. Now we're going to tie this thread off like we did the other one. So right here, I'm going to go under this thread bridge, pull it through, go through the loop, and pull. That's the first half hitch. Go through this purl, catch the thread bridge, go through the loop, and pull. That's two. Go through the purl, go through the thread, under the thread bridge. A thread bridge is just where two beads are held together by the thread. That's all it is. That's our third one. Advance through a couple more beads just so we don't cut right at that knot. I mean, it's okay to do that if you've already got your three. Like this one is my fourth, so here I'm going to cut right at the knot, but I don't do that when I'm securing something. Okay, cut off your thread, and now you can be done at this point if you want to. This is what it will look like, which is absolutely beautiful. Or you can go back and put this embellishment in down the sides. Now on this one, I don't think I'm going to do that. I mean, what do y'all think? Well, no, I'm not going to do that on this one. But what you would do, you tie thread on the very same way you end thread. Find a spot near an end, um, thread your needle, go under one of the thread bridges and tie a knot. Tie, oh, what do they call it? The double knot, where you do a square knot, where it's left over right, right over left. That's a very secure knot. So you tie on a piece of thread close to an end, set yourself up so that you're coming out of an end purl like that. And on this one, I'm not sure if you would need three or four. Let's see, to fill that space. I would say three. You would want to put three seed beads all the way down this side, turn around and go all the way back up that side and tie your thread off. So that's all you would do to do that. But I like it like this. And this is for a bridal show that I'm going to be doing. So I don't want it too busy. I think that's enough. And I've never made one where I didn't do the Monties on the end, but I really kind of like them just in that center there because the bracelet is flatter. The Monties stick out. You can see they do stick up from the bracelet a little bit. So if you don't want something sticking up, you don't have to put the Monties on there. You can do that just with seed beads. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, that's our right angle weave bracelet. I don't know who did this pattern originally. This pattern has been around since dirt was made. So I'm not sure where it came from. I always like to give an artist credit if I know who they are or, if it's their design. But because I don't know who it is, I can't do that. But anyway, it's a really great design. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned from it. And I hope you'll make your own. All right, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you on the next video, okay? Thank you, and bye bye.